Happy Monday, Castillo Trading coming to you with another live stream. First things first, shout out to the stream sponsors of CoinCatch and Stryker.ai. CoinCatch is the perpetual exchange of choice. It is where I like to be trading. I think a lot of people are kind of getting away from centralized leverage trading, but I think it will come back. Honestly, CoinCatch probably has one of the best platforms out there with no KYC, no VPN, great liquidity, great pairings, all that sort of stuff. Get on over there to CoinCatch. If you guys have any questions or any concerns, please message me. We can kind of get everything squared away. Also, Stryker.ai is the AI platform that I am working with. They do have a great macro calendar. The team is actually in Singapore, heading out to Singapore for the token 2049 this weekend. Again, any questions with that, please let me know. More to come. They are doing a lot of updates on the UI UX, so I'll be sending you guys some more information on that in the coming days. BTC did get a nice reaction out of these lows, guys. We ended up getting some bids down at this as well. I did kind of average a little bit heavy over the weekend. I told you in the Telegram, I brought my average down even lower. I think my initial buy was probably around like that 113, 114. Able to average down and place some bigger bids down in this area to really bring that average down. So I'm in good profit on that BTC trade, in good profit on the Ethereum trade. Again, it hasn't happened overnight. It didn't happen right away. I wasn't in good profits right away, but again, it took patience to kind of stick to that game plan of wanting to be long in this area. So we did kind of run up, bounce, and close that 111,600 and that 113,532. So we can go ahead and just update this for you guys. I like to do all this live in front of you so that you can see everything that I'm looking at, everything that I'm watching. So as of right now, depending on your game plan, depending on how you look at things or perceive the market, this is what we're looking at as far as NPOC prints. We have one below current price action within range. What do I mean with price action within range? Well, we do have a current range that is established, and those are the NPOC prints that I like to focus on. We do have NPOC prints below, but sometimes it can be a lot of noise when you have so many prints, so I like to just focus on the ones that are within range, right? So the ones that are within range are now below at that 109,405 and that 115,535, and then up here in that 118,119 area. So we like to construct setups based on this. We like to look for longs, we like to look for shorts, potential hedges, all that sort of stuff. If you're not willing to long, or you missed the boat and you don't have any position and you're trying to see like where do you want to long next, well, I do think that it is possible that we run down, we retest this 109,405, and then you can get long entries there. So what does that mean? Well, that means that a retest would have to happen, right? Some more downside would have to happen, but that doesn't always mean that's going to happen right away. Basically, we could run a little bit higher, get a little bit of a rejection, maybe a chance for us to put on a hedge, and then we can get this retest. So this is the 9/29 long. So this is the long that we can potentially look to be hedging on, or that we could potentially looking to long next, or taking ads, however your trading goes, whether it's building a position over time, whether it's maybe you're long out of these lows, maybe you can take some profits and then re-add lower once we get that 109,405 retest. Next area of interest to short is still higher for me, guys. It's that 115,535. But if you remember the last short that we had, it did end up getting front run a little bit, right? We wanted that 118, 119 to get our hedge in. We didn't get it. And so that is a potential to where we don't get this 115,535 and we potentially drop from here, closing out this NPOC print down at 109,405. Now, this does not change my setup. This does not change my trade. This does not change anything that I'm doing. I am still long BTC. I'm still long Ethereum. I am still looking to swing those trades. I am still looking to kind of maximize that profitability within those trades. But these are just for people that are joining. Maybe they don't have a trade. Maybe they're looking to put on a trade next. So really focused on the most local prints. That 115,535 and that 109,405, I think is where you could potentially get the next best entry, right? And that kind of means that we're trading around equilibrium or median ML of our BTC current range, which is right in this area. Not too much else. I still think we got a good bounce. We did kind of want along this 114, 144, and we are kind of getting into that area. This is where I initially took my BTC long position. And this is what I'm saying, guys. It's not about timing the bottom perfectly. It's about finding an area of interest to dollar cost average into, which this area was within our discounted price between median ML and lower limit. So my plan stays the same, guys. Even if we do drop and continue to chop in this area, that's where I want to be building a position, right? Using these NPOC prints is just a way to be getting like a feel for, where to be longing, or like a short-term directional bias, right? If you don't have a position, say you weren't longing the lows, you weren't willing to long these NPOC prints, which by the way, these were really fucking good longs. Last weekend, we wanted a retest of this 3833, 3905. That was so far a very, very good local bottom. Let's hope it continues. But again, let's just say you have no position, you're sidelined, you're not sure what to do. For me, the next area of interest would be to potentially long down at this 4,009 and this 3935 area. That would be where you could potentially put on some longs next. Like I said, I am already long. I am long from our previous setup of these NPOC prints right here. But if you did not take the long and you missed the boat, there's really no fear of chasing, in my opinion. Just coming into the computer, coming into the charts, coming into your setups with a clear mind, if you are sidelined, and creating new setups is always a good thing. If you're chasing plays or you think that you're gonna miss the boat on certain plays, just understand that, you know, you can still come without FOMOing, create setups, and have patience for those setups. Open chart, next area of interest to short is still higher up for me. We have our long, we have our short. Again, don't want to overcomplicate things. We're only focusing on the NPOC levels within range, all this sort of stuff. And I think someone says, if we lose 3.9 level, do you think that we test 3,100K next? I don't think we lose the 4K. I think that the deviation outside, maybe potential to trade within this area, but I really don't think that we go down to 3,100. Personally, I'm not really planning for it as of right now, but yeah, if we lose it, then that would be the next area to look for, would be that 31,510 area. But I'm not really willing to be sidelined to potentially miss a next leg higher because I want lower. It's just one of those things, like everybody got extremely bearish at the lows here. Same with BTC. Everybody got extremely bearish at the lows here. And so that's normally what happens. Either people sell or either people are, you know, fearful and they go and they stable up, you know, whatever their situation may be. But for me, I am still long from this area. I think that this area bodes well once we get above into that all-time highs. Yeah, Sol kind of did drop out of range for us, and I think that's why it kind of made me not too interested in it. Kind of just showed the weakness because this was once resistance, 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 broke above, and that resistance did not play out, right? So that is technically why I'm not interested in Sol right now, because it could come back and retest that important area, and maybe it holds below here for a little bit while BTC goes higher, and then, you know, Sol can kind of, you know, go a little bit crazy into, you know, mid Q4 or something. But not interested in Sol as I am more interested in BTC and Ethereum as of right now, guys. I think this area needs to hold. You know, we kind of had that retest, and I was like, you know, if Aster bounces, it has to bounce here. You know, I'm still in that mindset as well, to where if we do break below this important level, then it could be a little bit of trouble back down into the low ones. Support is still holding, guys, the area that I marked out. And so that's currently what I'm looking for. I still want Aster to hold this area and bounce a little bit higher. Now, does that mean that it takes maybe some time? Maybe it does something like this before we finally can get a move and a breakout of this downtrend. But I still like Aster, but I still think that this 180, between 180 and these lows of about 170 needs to hold. But again, still long Aster. I still like Aster long term. AVNT, this is what? I know that this one is fucking like Coinbase's perp dex or some shit. I don't really know. Ew, does not look that great. I will say Aster looks better. You know, but again, you know, just charting it for you guys, not a bad area to potentially put on some risk, right? And then you can honestly just kind of risk these lows here. Not a bad retrace to be buying into, especially if the perp dex narrative still runs hard. But it is about a 60% move to the downside on AVNT. I'm glad I didn't fuck with AVNT. I kind of felt sadness when it was fucking running without me, just because someone even in the chat put it in like a week ago, like right in this area. But, you know, after looking at this chart, I could care less, and I'm actually happy that I am still sticking with Aster longs. I was trading this back in the day and lost money on it. This wasn't a new launch. You know, I think that it got a really good beta play out of it. You know, like if you were kind of longing in that 50 cent, you know, even building a position in that 20 cent, you know, this was like a great way to be longing it. But, you know, people are like, oh, it's backed by Bybit Ben and all this sort of stuff. And it was just kind of like a beta play. Yes, you could have made money on it. I took a spot on this a while ago. I got beat to shit on it. So this isn't like new. This isn't a new platform. This isn't like it's launched like Aster did or anything like that. It's been around for fucking ever. They actually wanted me to do a KOL deal with them a while back, but it's not my thing, you know, trying to buy in or chase into something like this. Now, I think it does have some potential if you want to be trading it, right? And the volume's there. You know, we could just throw something on like a current range. You know, we have highs. I would say I would be interested in it a little bit lower. Maybe at about that 132, 150 area would be a pretty good, you know, buy area on it. Retest of these prior highs, break above, you know, down in this area. But, you know, it is a chase. This thing was trading at 25 cents not even a week ago, right? So I'm not interested in it. We want this price action from 2020 to 2021 to mirror something like this, right? Where we started to kind of top, then we had a slow fade down. We kind of started at the top, we're having a slow fade down. I would love a bounce to break these prior all-time highs, just like this happened right here. just like this. I want this to happen here. And then we get a massive crash just like this happened. And this was when altcoins went crazy in 2021, right? That's what I want to happen. I want BTC to take the reins. I want BTC dominance to do some fucking damage, to make some gains, maybe that 76%-ish. And then boom, we have that fucking nuke, and then alt season, on-chain season, meme season, all that fucking good stuff. Ignore the timeframes on the bottom. You know, this could happen a lot quicker than 2018, but you know, it's just a rough drawn up on it. Happy to be back in the saddle for another weekly video series. You will see me here on Wednesday doing an NPOC update for you guys. Don't hesitate to reach out to me over on X. Don't hesitate to reach out to me over on Telegram. Send me a message if you guys need anything. I'll do my best to try and answer it for you. And once again, I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody joining. I appreciate you guys talking in the chat. Once again, following along with the content, and have a great rest of your week. Peace out.